Hey everyone, it's me, E, and welcome to day one of week two of Experimental Month. You have no idea how hard that was to get down. But today marks the beginning of Gaming Week of Experimental Month, and so as you can see, we are in Minecraft. And so I have this redstone house in front of me, and this house was originally designed by a YouTuber by the name of FedEx Gaming. You can check the original video in the description. But I've taken his design, I've updated it to 1.15 building standards, and I've completely gutted the redstone. Because today, we're going to try and remake at least one of the contraptions in this house using only command blocks instead of traditional redstone. In Minecraft, I've always enjoyed toying around with command blocks and how they work. I always like troubleshooting and seeing how things pan out and working with code. So this will be a fun experiment for me to show you guys today. It'll be nice and simple and really easy to get done. All right, so let's go. So let's go to this house. We are going to try and make some simple contraptions today. We are going to make a toggleable light switch. So at the moment, when I open these doors, you can see I have a button labeled here that says outside, which refers to these outside lights. So in the redstone house, if you press this button, then the lights would turn on, and when you press it again, the lights would turn off. Obviously, they aren't working right now because I gutted out all the redstone. So we're just going to be making a simple simple command block contraption to try and make this thing work the way it used to. So first things first, we got to give ourselves a command block. All right, and we're going to set it up right out here. Setting it up here rather than somewhere far away where the player won't be able to see it is preferable because that way we can test it with the ability to be moved quickly between locations and also see what goes wrong. So first, let's grab the coordinates of this button because we need to be able to detect when the player has pressed this specific button. So what we're going to do is we're going to put a repeat block that is always active. So in this block, we will have an execute command, and this will execute if the block at these coordinates, let's get rid of that, at these coordinates is a stone button, which it is, and if it is powered. So that means this command block will always be checking for when that button is pressed. So if I put, let's put a comparator there. So if I put a comparator there and I press the button, you can see the comparator turns on. All right, so now that that's done, we need to add in another execute command block. And so what this execute command block will do is that it will execute if the block at the same position, so our stone button light switch is a stone button, which it always will be, and if it is not powered, oops, I spelled that wrong, equals false. And this will need redstone. Alright, so what happens now is when the player presses the button, this thing would detect it and it would turn on, and then the command chain will start detecting when the button is no longer pressed. And so then what's going to happen next is let's put a chain command block on top of that, conditional, and always active, and you will be a chain block, and you will, let me put one there, and let's grab that. You are facing west, so we're going to set that block to be a comparator that is facing west. It's important to specify the direction so that way we know that a redstone signal coming from here will be output like this, because doing it this way will mean a redstone signal gets output, and doing it this way means nothing will happen. So always important to specify direction. And then next, we just want to set this block. We're going to put in conditional, and then we're just going to set this block to be air. Alright, so this is how the command is going to function. So we have this side of the command chain, which will be the chain that will turn the lights on, and this side of the chain will be the side that turns the lights off. They'll be basically the same, except one will be turning them on and one will be turning them off. So here we have a basic toggle system. So when this gets activated, when the button is pressed, this will activate, which will detect when the button is no longer pressed. After that, it will switch this comparator over to this side, and it will also get rid of this comparator right here. So that way, this side can't function at all. So what we're going to do is we're just going to copy everything we have over there, except over here. So instead of setting that to air, it will be a comparator that is facing east. Yes, because we want it in the other direction. And then here, instead of a comparator facing west, it will be just an air block. All right, and so now when we press the button, we can see that the comparator turns on, and then it switches sides. And when we press it again, the comparator turns on and switches back. So perfect, we have a nice toggling light switch. So now all that's left to do is add in the part that turns the lights on. So what we're going to do is we're going to break down this front area. Of course, we're going to rebuild it later, but we're just going to break this down. Okay, and so at this point we have to use a bit of redstone, for one, for simplicity, and two, because it won't work otherwise. Because we have these lights here, but if you put a redstone block there, it doesn't get turned on. So we have to put in some minimal redstone here, and plus it'll be a lot simpler. Instead of setting 2 blocks, it'll set 1 block. So let's just put a placeholder here, and we'll do /set block. And so let's grab a repeater and a command block. And this one is just going to be an impulse block, which means it'll only fire once and needs redstone. And so this will be set block to redstone block. So now what this will do is once the button is pressed, then a redstone signal will be sent into this comparator, through this command block, into this repeater, and into this impulse block, which will turn the lights on. Now we just need to, copy this. Control middle click is your friend for command blocks. That will allow you to collect all the NBT data, aka all the code that's already inside of it. So there we go, instead of redstone block, it will set it to air. So now, when we press this, you can see the comparator turns on, and the lights have turned on, and it switches sides, and when we press it again, as you can see, the lights have turned off. Now that's a very nice, very simple command thing, but we need to add a little bit more. So what we're going to do is we're going to add another conditional chain block, because as of right now, the player, when they press this button, they see that the lights turn on. They see a bit of a lag spike, but other than that, they have no indication that anything actually happened. So what we're going to do is we're just going to put a nice sound effect to mimic redstone happening. So we're going to play a sound. Let's go with let's go with dispenser fail. That sounds kind of like a light switch. So we're going to do it at the nearest player, and we're going to do it at their coordinates. And let's put it at 0.5 volume. All right. And then let's just copy this over to this side. Conditional. All right. And so now when we press the button, the lights turn on, and we also get a nice sound effect that tells us something happened. Same thing for when we turn the lights off. So now we have a nice, compact, very simple, toggleable light switch using only command blocks. Now all that's left to do is just to first patch up this giant hole in the side of our wall. All right, and then all that's left to do is just to move this entire thing somewhere off-site, either off into the vast nothingness of the flatlands, or more preferably, somewhere inside this open space inside the roof of the house. But that's for you to decide when you try building this at home. Anyway, that's it for today. Thank you guys for watching. If you did like this episode of Gaming Week, please hit the like button. Em appreciates it. I appreciate it. It tells us that we should try making more content like this, and it gives us a break from making music videos, because we can't make music all the time. We get bored pretty fast and pretty tired of it. So we need something to help recuperate. So if you guys like this, we'll try making more of it in the future. Anyway, that's all for today. Tune in either tomorrow or the day after for the next episode of Gaming Week where I will attempt to play Toho.